session, and I hope most of you have got the different basics. So we'll proceed with the next session. So we have already discussed the if else, like the different type of condition, if else, if elif else. We have discussed the loop, like the specifically for loop using the in keyword, enumerate keyword, and the range. So in this session we will discuss hmm, we will discuss the function, lambda function, custom list sorting, while loop, dictionary basics, and if the time permits, we will also cover the OS libraries like the OS list dir, OS mkdir, OS make dirs, etc. What is a function? Functions is a coherent block of statement to accomplish a particular task. Why we need a function? Suppose we are organizing a feast, cultural feast, and we have a different type of teams prepared for organization of the cultural feast. Like we have a team for taking care of the guest. We have a team for uh, fund related issues, managing the financial activities. We have a team for managing the events. So if in this way we distribute the whole things to a particular team, then we can ask the particular team if something is not happening properly or what is the status of it on a particular thing from that particular team or from the respected team. So this similar way, if we divide the task of the whole of our task of a program into a functions, the code become more modular, it becomes easy to understand, it becomes easy to debug. So suppose we have to do something, we have to call a certain functions which add two numbers. So if we have written uh, those as a functions, we just have to call again and again wherever that is required. Otherwise, we have to write all those lines of functions again and again. So basically, writing a functional way makes the code more modular. What I mean by the modular, it becomes more compact. It becomes like the easily you can copy those function and directly reuse to the other project. It becomes easy to understand, it becomes easy to debug. So functions can be treated as a black box which takes as an input and gives us some output. We need a function name and input argument for defining and calling of a functions. So the syntax of a functions in Python is like def add two numbers ab return ab. So here the def is the keyword to define a function, add number is a function name, and a and b are arguments. So we are returning the return value from a function. So it is up to us whether we want to return something or not. It is not necessary to have a return function inside a function. So here we are defining a equal to 4, b equal to 10, and we are calling add number 410. So in this way, we are calling the function add number. So here the def keyword is used to define the function, and similar to the if fields block, we have a like the colon symbol here, which denotes that this is a function block, and all the statement inside a block will be indented with a tab or a 4 space or a 2 space. So lambda function is a special function or an inline function. It is fast and it doesn't need to change the context or the sequential call stack. Uh, so in those who are from the programming background, there is a stack pointer which contains the next instructions, like the to be executed address of the next instruction to be executed. So we don't need to change the like the stack pointer if we are using the lambda function, and hence it will become a little bit faster than the regular functions. So like if we are defining a function to like increment something by 1, we can define it so by def increment by 1 x, and it will return x plus 1. We can call this function increment by 1. Using lambda function, we have to define lambda x we don't need to give a function name. So it just takes input x, and so here it is a syntax error. It should take like the, so whatever is passed to this function, it will return a plus 1. So here it should not be the a, it should be the x plus 1. So function call lambda x plus 1 2. So we'll go through the IPython notebook and we'll see the functions, and then we will proceed to the dictionary and other stuffs. In this way, we are able to call the add functions. We have defined the add functions like using the def keyword, def add function ab, and we return the like the a plus b. So here a equal to 4, b equal to 6, and we return a b. So even if we call again and again, so add functions we can call on, say 9, 8, anything like that. So we can define a function which just print something like uh, def non return function. So suppose it takes say integer x and it prints the value uh, something, or it doesn't do this, just do something like x equal to x plus 1, and it doesn't like the do anything more, uh, like even it doesn't print anything. So we can define like this, and then we can call this function non-return function like 5, like this. Even this is correct. So this way we can define a functions, and we can have the like the more useful functions in our day-to-day life. Like we can have a functions to solve some linear equation, we can have some functions to solve some differential equation, and likewise. So to define a lambda functions, So like here we have defined a lambda function x. We just take input x and it increment by 1, and we have called this function on 2. So it doesn't like do anything. So it suppose we store it like the somewhere. So like say t, and then print t. So we see that now we got t equal to 3. So it has incremented the like the in the t by 1. So we can call this again like on a sequence. Say we can call like this 2, 3, 4 and print t. So okay, list assignment. So another way I will show the custom sorting using custom list sorting using lambda function. Function. So suppose we define a list. So list of a tuple where we have like we have a list of strings. Suppose we have anything like name like Ram, Syam, and one more thing like OSI, something like that. OSI, and then ABC, like that. And then we can, if we just call L dot sort, then it print L, then it will give us OSI, Ram, Syam, and ABC. Okay, so it is like the, because as it is sorting based on the alphabetical order. So what if we want to sort it not only based on the alphabetical order, but also on the its number of the number of the character in the name. So lambda atom, so atom is the temporary variable name. So return will be the two things, length of the things. First it will sort based on the length. So length is length of item, and then second variable it will be the item. So it will sort on the two things, and then we will print uh, L. So L we can initialize again because it had changed the L. So we will initialize L again, and then we will see the print L. Hmm, sort takes no lambda. Okay. Equal to lambda item. So now we see that in the, when we do the custom sorting, we got ABC before the before the Syam, because ABC is containing only the 3 character, whereas Syam is containing the 5 character. So in this way we can have the custom sorting. So suppose we have a two things like the list of a tuple. So suppose we have a list of a tuple. So first thing is the something like the roll number or year, like that. So suppose we have a something like roll number, then the name, and then the name, and then year, maybe date of birth or something, year of joining. So we have another thing like like this, and then so it is a tuple of the three things. So say 11, and then the moon, and then it is the 2011, and we have like the Rohan, and then here 2013. So here let us say we have the 10, and let us make it number instead of string. So 11 and 12. Yes. Just I will complete this. Then I will explain your doubt, Krishna. Just a second. So here we can see that it is also suggesting about the sort function. Sort takes a key and the none, and we can also have the reverse equal to true or false for the list sorting. So here we will give the key our custom sorting function lambda. We will give maybe item, and then we are returning based on the sorting. First thing we will sort based on the first value item 0, so tuple 0, and then we will sort based on the item say 2 second entry, and this we will use, and then we will print l. Saurabh, can you please mute yourself? Yeah. So when we run this, we get as expected because the Rohan, the first tuple of the Rohan is 10. So we get 10. It is in ascending order 10, 11, 12. So when these two things are the same, 11 and the 11, it is sorted based on the year values, since 2011 is greater than 2011 is lesser than the 2012. So these tuples come before the 11 Raju and 2012. So in the first example, it is according to the length of the string. Yeah, it is according to first, it is sorted according to the length of a string and then based on the string. So if we do the reverse thing, like oh, the length of the item is like this, then so next time we get the Siam first and the ABC last, because the first priority is on the item itself. So S is like so here we are getting, and the next priority is on the length of the item. So here, because the alphabets, the capital letter alphabets are given the more priority than the smaller letter. So it is happening in initial programs. Yes, I am discussing about this block only. Here we have initialized a list of names Ram, Shyam, OSI, and ABC. So just to make sure that all things are capital so that there is no confusion, and here also then in first case, if just we do the L dot sort, ABC is coming at first, then OSI, then the RAM, and then Syam. If we are sorting based on the custom sorting, where we are first treating as the length of item as the first criteria for the sorting, so all the names which have the 3 characters will come before the names having the 5 characters. And in the next criteria, where we are first sorting based on the items itself and then the length of item, so here we see that because of the Siam, in the Siam the length of item is more, so it will come at last. So all the items A, O, R, it comes before the S. Therefore, it is coming like ABC, OSI, RAM, and Siam. So you can input more strings here, and you can experiment on your own to see how the custom sorting behaves. So we'll move to the dictionary now. So just a second. So we have already seen the custom sorting on the list using the Lambda function. Now we'll see the uh, we'll see the while loop, and then we'll see the basics of dictionary. So while loop syntax is similar: while and then the condition and the loop statement, and there is a statement outside the loop. So while block can have the one or more statement similar to if block or the for block. So syntax of one very simple example of the while loop is that we initialize I is equal to 10, and instead of I, or here we should initialize I is equal to 1 maybe, and then while I is less than 10, print I and then increment I by 1. So this is a very simple syntax of the while. So, and then the while, the real life uses is that in numerical calculations, optimizations, and like in many a times we need to keep doing certain tasks until a desired criteria is reached, like the error is reduced up to the certain precision. Like suppose we have a current solution as 2.5, next solution we have just initialized as 3.95, and while this difference between two solutions remains greater than like the 0.001, we do something, we re-estimate the next solution and we update the current solution, and while we keep doing this until the difference between current solution and next solution reaches the lesser than the difference between two solutions reaches lesser than 0.001. So in optimization, mostly we do like that. So we keep re-estimating the value until our the error reduced up to the certain precision. So next we'll study the dictionary data type. Dictionary is very powerful data types. It is store the key value pairs. So we have seen the list initialization was the bigger bracket, the tuple is like the initialization was the smaller bracket, and the dictionary initialization is the curly braces. So D equal to curly open curly bracket and close curly bracket is the default syntax for initializing an empty dictionary. For initializing a dictionary with content, we can initialize as D equal to then key, and this is the value RAM, and then again the key 10 and the value Siam 30 akshay. So 30 is the value is the akshay and 34 is the key and value is the ravna. So keys can't be duplicates. So, and here in the value we can have the complex structure like a list, tuple, or again in the value we can have again nested dictionary and so on. So Python provide libraries like Json and Pickle to store, dump, or read dictionaries to or from the files directly. Twitter data also provide the in the JSON format, which is basically a dictionary. And while we submit any form, the data that is submitted to the website backend server over the internet, this is also a by default dictionary. So we'll open the Colab now to see the examples of the while and the dictionary. So it is printing I. So this has become the infinite loop because I is remaining the 4 and we are like the not incrementing the I. So this condition is true for infinite time. So we can stop this infinite time by interrupting the execution, and then we can have add the increment loop. So we are incrementing the I by 1, and then we are getting the output as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. So then we can see the dictionary initialization. So we can initialize dictionary like using curly bracket, and we can see like the it will print the empty dictionary. So if suppose we want to initialize a dictionary with a variable, so we can have the key value pair, and the key can be anything, and value can be also any data type. So suppose we have simple, both are the string in this case in our current example, but we can have any data type in the keys or the value. So if we print D, we see that we get a dictionary where the keys are 1 and the value are Ram, and the next key is the 2 and the value is Syam, and next key is the 3 and the value is Mohan. So we have the several methods to iterate over the key value pair. Like we can use the for loop for like key in say D print. Uh, so before looping, we'll just see how to access a single element. So if we access just D and 1, it will give us the RAM. So like this way we can access a dictionary. So D1 is the RAM. So if we say like D2, we will get the Syam. Suppose we change here D3, we will get the Mohan. So it is a key value pair. So key here are the 1, 2, 3, and the values are Ram, Syam, and Mohan. So it has also method to get a list, get a list, get all the keys. So it has D dot keys. So we can print D dot keys. It is a type of dict keys. Previously in Python 2.7, it was the list type. So now it is a dict keys type, and you are getting 1, 2, 3. So if you want to store it as a list, so you can typecast it as a list. So like that, keys list is equal to d dot keys, and we can typecast it to a list variable, and then we can print the keys list. So it is 1, 2, 3, and even if we see the type of the keys list, it will be the class list. So in this way we can access the keys. Similar way we can access the values, all the values. So instead of keys, just we have to write the values. So it is a dict value type first by default d dot values, and it returns as a Ram, Syam, and Mohan. And when we can typecast it as a Ram, Syam, Mohan, and then there is a like the go to atoms, like the atom, we can get the list of atoms list d dot items, and we can print items list. We get the dict items. One, it is a tuple. 1 comma Ram is one tuple. 2 comma Syam is another tuple. 3 comma Mohan is another tuple. We can change again the assignment of any key value pair. Suppose we want to change d1 to, suppose we want to change from d1 to like say anything. It is Ram, so we want to change it Krishna. So suppose we want to change it as Krishna, so d1 will be changed as Krishna, and when we will print d1 now, we will get Krishna. D1 we are getting Krishna, so the keys cannot be duplicated. So if we again want to like the have we can change the keys, but keys cannot be duplicated. So if we want to have the two values with the same key, we can't have that. So it will just replace the things. And if we like the forced to add the key value pair with the same key, it will give us an error. So after that, we can iterate even in the key, and we can print here like the key and the D key. So it will print again the tuple 1 Krishna, 2 Shyam, and 3 Mohan. So we can have the more complex key value pair, like in the value we can have the list of list, and so on. So if we can save this also, like we can use the import JSON and JSON data, this JSON library, and then we can save this to a file. Suppose we want to we want to save this JSON to a file or read this JSON from a file. So just we have to first open a file. So this is the same syntax for opening any file. Like we have to just write a open, and then we have to write the f name. So suppose the temp JSON we are defining, and then we are writing the in write mode. So it is giving us a option like the open file and the mode, open text mode and the write mode, and then JSON dot dump. We have to first tell the dictionary is D, and then we have to F, and then we have to write F dot close. So this is the syntax of writing any like the anything in a file. We just have to first open it in write mode, and then we have to write the string into it, and then we have to close the things. So it is successful, and we can see that in this directory we will get one JSON file temp.json, and when we open the temp.json with any text editor, say Notepad, we'll get a JSON file 1 Krishna, 2 Shyam, 3 Mohan, and we can read this file also through the our here. So this was the saving a dictionary to a file, So we have the two library for that, JSON and the pickle. The constraint of JSON is that JSON in JSON library, the all keys must be string. Keys must be string. Keys can't be integer or any other things. Keys must be a string in JSON library, whereas in pickle library there is no restrictions on the keys data type. So I will show you how to read the a JSON file now. We have already opened JSON, so like the d2 equal to, like first we have to like the f equal to open the file in the read mode. So again it is a typo here in the open, then the file name is the temp underscore JSON, and then we have to open the file in the read mode. Then we have to just call json.load and f, so it will return as a dictionary. And so I am saving in d2 because we have already defined d there. So and then I will print d2. So we see that we are able to successfully load the same dictionary, 1 Krishna, 2 Shyam, and 3 Mohan. Iterating over the dictionary is unordered tuple, so you might not get the same sequence every time. So if your logic is based on the some sequence, so you can use the sorting and you can sort the keys beforehand before iterating, because you might not get the same order. Dictionary doesn't keep in the ordered pair. It is a unordered pair of the keys and the value. So we have completed dictionary for today. Then we will try to complete the OS library now. So in the use, what is the operating system library? Operating system provides an an interface to simulink like this, to create access or the make directory across the different operating systems. So because that the path structure for Windows, Linux, and Mac are different. Similarly, the commands for creating directory in the terminal are also different across the Mac, Windows, and Linux. So we got an OS library to do the task, or to mask the internal things. So the name of library is OS library. So we'll first see that what the key functions here. We will see the os.list dir, os.make dir. So it is mkdir, and then we will see the os.make dirs. And there are other functions, os.path.isFile, and so on. So suppose we are in the current folder and just we will see the file list. So os.list dir, and just we are giving the dot indicates the current path. So what are the files in the current path? We want to see that. So print file list. So you might remember that on Windows the command was dir, on the Linux to do the same thing the command was ls. So if we run this, we get that we have one pptx, one ipnb. There are two ipnb, day 3 session 7, day 3 session 6, and the one images directory, and one temp.json, temp underscore json. So these are the files. So suppose we want to create a directory here, to create a directory. So we have to use the os.mkdir. So suppose new dir name is equal to, suppose new dir itself we write new dir. Okay, and then we will call that os.mkdir and new dir. Okay, so it is new dir name. So though we can call again the that for os.listdir, let me check. I am currently on the Windows whether ls works is or not. So ls is not recognized as internal or external command operable program, but dir will work because the Windows uh, on Windows dir is the command. Those who are Linux, they can check with the ls. So volumes on this. So here we got a new dir named a new directory. Otherwise we can do like the previous things. We can copy paste these things. File list equal to os.listdir, and we can see what are the file list. So here we can see that new dir is created. So to create a dir directory, we have the command os.mkdir, but it will create like the single level of directory. It can't create a like the nested level of directory. What do I mean by the nested level of directory? Suppose you have to create a you don't you we have only this much directory. So suppose we want to create a in the current folder, we want to create a test dir, and inside the test dir we want to create inside the test dir we want to create a test dir level 2. So we don't have the test dir now, but we want to create this structure. We in a single command we want to create a test dir, and we want to create test dir level 2 level 2 like this. So we want to create like this. So let me show what error it will give if we try to. So first I will create the variable name. So again the there is a difference between the file listing in Windows and the Linux. So in Linux we use the forward slash, whereas in Windows we use the backslash. So Windows we have a backslash. So in Linux we have a forward slash. Linux or Mac we have a forward slash for a directory separator symbol. So for uh, so we can use os.path.join again typo to create the uh, path according irrespective of the Windows or the Linux. So suppose our first dir is the test dir, and the second is that second is the test dir level 2. And this is the new dir name. So those who are Linux, if they will try this, they will get a different structure. Just let me type this, and then here you see in Windows we are getting the backslash, but in Linux and the Mac it will be the forward slash. We are getting like the test dir backslash test dir level 2, and so it will os.path.join, it is joining the path. So it will automatically take care of the forward slash and backslash. So you don't need to the hard code. So the same code will run on the Windows and Linux. So if we use write the code in this way, otherwise what like the new programmer do, they will hard code this like this, like they will instead of using the os.path.join, they will hard code the path like this, and this will not run on the Linux machine because this kind of path they will not find on the Linux machine. So now if we write os.mkdir new dir name, so it should give us error because test dir is also not present now. So it is given Windows system system cannot find the path specified test dir level 2. So, but if we write os dot make okay, make dirs, so it will create the nested data structure, nested directory also, even if the parent directory is not present. Make make dirs. So then if we copy this file list command, yeah, we will see we got a uh, new dir, and if we see that os.list dir, if we want to see what is present in the new dir, we can have like this file list, and then here instead of dot we can have the new dir, new dir. So new dir, we have created test dir, right? Test dir, so it should not be new dir, it should be the test dir, test dir, and inside this we have already test dir level 2. So this was the demonstration of OS library. It will be also useful, suppose you want to go read all the CSV file under a certain directory, or you want to go to the repetitive way all the subdirectory and the recursive in the recursive manner, and access all the CSV file and extract the data and do some manipulation there. So os.list dir and the os.path.join, this will be very useful. And you want to like the create something, some directory, some file. So this type of command will be more useful. We will also show the demonstration of the other method where using the os.list dir we access like the we can access and we can keep like how many CSV file is there, what are the CSV file presents, the name of the CSV file, name of other format, and other information we can use using the OS and the dictionary, OS library and the dictionary command. So I will keep it short, and then you can ask the questions. We have 15 minutes left, and then we can go for a lunch break. And in the next session, we will discuss the advanced uses of the dictionary. We will see the how we can enumerate over a directory, and we can see what are the CSV file present. We can how we can read the CSV file using the simple pandas library. How we can create a CSV or Excel file using the pandas library. So we'll have the 15 minutes of doubt session now. So those who have any doubt, they can ask, or the type first, they can raise their hand or the type in the chat, and then we can unmute them one by one. Okay, yeah, you can try replacing the Syam with Anil. I will just provide you this IPNV file by the end of this session. So even right now, I will upload this IPNV file itself, and then I will customize it further. So if no one has any question, then we will wrap up the session in 5 minutes and then we will start at 3:30 p.m. So I will still wait for the 5 to 10 minutes for any doubts. Please repeat os.dir. Okay, os.path.join and os.listdir. Okay, just a second. So I will delete this. Maybe this is taking too much of space. Yeah. So listdir is a utility inside the OS library which will present all the directory and the files present in a particular folder. So here we are giving the dot. Dot indicates the present folder. So import OS file list equal to os.listdir, and in the input to the os.listdir we are giving the current directory as input and we are printing the file list. So it is showing all the files that are present in the current dir, like day 3 session 6 presentation.pptx, day 3 session 7.ipynb, day 3 session 6.ipynb, and there is a directory named as images and there is one JSON file temp_JSON. So this is how we can use the list dir to know what are the files and directory present in a certain folders. So then os.makedir is to create a new dir. It will create the dir single dir whose parent is already present. It can't create a nested level the directory whose parent is not already present. So suppose we want to create a new dir, so we can call os.mkdir. So mkdir is the Linux command, but it will also OS library will take care of the Windows, Mac and the Linux system. So even I am currently working in the Windows system. So even here os.makedir will work and it will create the new dir. And when we see the file list, we see that new dir is created here, which was not present in the previous line. Here you can see that there is no new dir, no directory named as new dir. But when we execute this line after this,
yeah, it gives an error.
Yeah, it gives an
It
error.
gives an name OS is not defined.
Like, can you type the error in the chat box? What is the error?
Name error. Name OS is not defined.
Oh, you are running on where? Like the local system or import error you are getting? Import OS.
Name OS is not defined. I am using BSC Visual Studio Code on Windows 11.
Yeah. But have you imported the import OS? Have you written the system import OS? Like I have already written here import OS here. Have you written import OS?
One second, let me try again.